swap meet. RIP to Steve Yano. You have your own Steve Yano stories as well, and we can get into that after this clip. But this was mentioned in the video, Lonzo. And I'm going to ask you the question, then I'm going to play the clip. So don't answer the question right away. But this was mentioned in the video. But do you know if it was Steve Yano who gave Eazy the idea to start a label? Now, here it is. Here's the clip right here. I'm going to play it and tell me what you remember about this.
Eric had $250,000 saved up with the intention of setting up a record store until he got acquainted with Steve Yano, a UCLA graduate who forewent a career as a psychologist for a more lucrative one, selling R&B and rap records at the Rhodium Open Air Market in Torrance, located in southwestern LA County. When Eric told Steve of his plan, his response was, "No, don't open a record store. Open a record label." Eric relented. A record label it would be.
Talking, Lonzo.
Bullshit.
I was waiting for it.
Bullshit. Man, these dudes don't know nothing about nothing. They just make up
Where
shit.
did they get this shit?
Eric had a quarter.
Lonzo? That sounds more like Tony A's story than it does. I mean,
nah, Tony A knew better than that. Tony A was a youngster back then. He was like 14, 15 years old when Steve had to swap meet. Eazy had some money, allegedly, because he was working with his cousin. Cousin got killed. Eazy knew what his stash was. Okay? That's the story I was told. Okay? $250,000. The dude was driving a goddamn Suzuki Samurai. He ain't had no $250,000, man. He ain't had no $250,000. Okay? Eazy came to me while me and Drayden were making bootlegs. I was making Xerox and cut-ups and house party records. And Dre kind of talked him into wanting a record label. I can't say it was, I can't, Steve Yano didn't support it, but I can't say he got, he already had the idea. I was already helping him do this shit. So that's bullshit. That's not going to fly. You know, most of the time, as I say all the time, people are trying to tell a story based on secondhand, third-hand, written, other written misinformation. What they call it, what Trump called them, alternative facts. Alternative facts, yeah, okay. And they just perpetuate bullshit based on other bullshit. Nah, I can't say Steve Yano came over here to buy records from me for the swap meet. Eric was already here putting together Ruthless Records. He was already trying to make his thing happen. He was already on my head trying to get him to do what, you know, trying to give him to introduce me to my lawyer and stuff like that, his record label. I mean, get his graphics done, the whole 9 yards. So, nah, man. I can't say, he hung out with Steve them for a while as a swap meet. We all did. But Dre, Q, and Eazy was there a lot more because I was out selling records to other people. Steve was my only customer. So I'd go by the swap meet, drop off some records, hang out for a minute, see what's cracking, and I'd leave them sitting up there.
Okay.
$250,000, I don't see that.
All right. Yeah, see, when I'm listening to this thing, I'm already noticing some discrepancies by doing the show with you for the past 8 years. All right, here's a few clips. I'm going to play one by one. I have 3 more, but this is the endings of World Class Wrecking Crew and the beginnings of N.W.A. But here's the first clip, and I would like your thoughts after we hear this first clip.
But there were signs that electro-funk was waning. The success of 12-inch singles such as Surgery was enough to justify Lonzo to cobble together a few more songs and issue the album World Class in 1985 through his Crew Cut Records imprint. But when the World Class Wrecking Crew finally landed a major record deal with Epic Records and released Wrapped in Romance in 1986, the album flopped.
So he's throwing a dig, throwing a little shot. Says the album flopped. Talk to us about that clip you just heard, Lonzo.
Fuck him.
It might be an AI computer. We're saying F you too, by the way. We could be.
I can tell there may be some alternative intelligence involved in that. The album, I can't say it didn't flop because it wasn't a good album. I think it flopped because, well, it didn't sell well because they held it for 7 months. We did the damn thing in January, and it come out in fucking July. And I've said this before. It was a couple of factors that caused the situation not to be what it was. One, we were on Epic Records. Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross, Tina Marie, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye was dead by then. I think he was already dead by then. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, we had a ton of major people that was already in line ahead of us or came out, was ready to roll. And when people look at release dates based on their quarter earnings, if you can drop a Michael Jackson album or a Luther Vandross album in a certain quarter, you know damn well the next quarter is going to be fantastic. And our shit kept getting bumped out, kept getting bumped back. And that was one of the things about majors I did not like. You kept on getting bumped. So by the time, and you have to understand, at this stage in hip hop, 1987, everything was moving fast. Everything was moving fast. You couldn't, if you heard a disc record on Thursday, the following Thursday, you had a record to repeat to counter that one. And we had the relationship with Greg Mack and everybody else to make that happen. And CBS broke that momentum because they don't move like we do. You can't turn that ship around that fast. It's like trying to turn a ship versus a rowboat. Okay, a rowboat, you can turn them up around in a matter of seconds, but a cruise ship, shit, it's gonna take a while. And that's what a major is. It's a cruise ship. Crew Cut was a rowboat. It was a dinghy. Okay, I could damn near flip this image around just by shaking my ass. And that's what hip hop was built on in the very beginning. The disc records, the response records, whatever was hot, hip hop was coming back to counter it in a matter of days, a matter of weeks. Those soon as you had Roxanne, you had real Roxanne. You had Roxanne's mama. You had all these different rocks, and that phenomenon was something that was only could be done by an independent. They were not majors doing this shit. Now the majors may have picked them up later on and messed them up because, again, majors can't move as fast as an independent can. And that's what made being an independent was so attractive to hip hop, because you could move a lot faster. You didn't have the same dead weight. You can sell 100,000 records in a region and still have the rest of the country to sell to. And cobbled together, man, fuck him. We cobbled together. That's the part.
That's a horrible choice of words, man.
That's a choice of words, okay? Because again, it always make it seem like I was always struggling. I was the only baller in the